Hey guys, today I'm going to give you a super quick overview of the OPL lab. I'm just going to say a few words about each module just to give you a basic idea of what the different modules do, and then you can go to the module specific videos to get the details. So the first thing to notice is that we have two main sections. There's the module section, which we're in right now. Up here you see the different modules, and you can go to a module by clicking on the module name. And then there's My Lab, which lets you organize your data. On the left here, you see the different kinds of data that you can work with in My Lab. So for example, if we click on ranges, you see my stored ranges. The basic idea is that modules do calculations, so you give them some inputs and they return some outputs. And My Lab lets you store these inputs and outputs for future reference, and so that you don't have to enter the same things over and over again. Okay, so the first module is the equity module. It's a basic equity calculator like PokerStove or Equilab. You put into ranges and it tells you how often the first range wins against the second range. The second module is the ICM module. You can think of this as a stack equity calculator for tournaments. What you do here is you enter a payout distribution and a chip distribution, and it calculates the values of the different stacks relative to each other. Next up we have the post-flop module. This is essentially a generalized version of Flopzilla. You enter two starting ranges and a flop, and then you simulate the post-flop hand reading process. Essentially, you narrow each range by removing selected hands and draws, and the program shows you how equities evolve on future streets. Then we have the push-fold module. It's similar to tools like ICMizer. You put in stacks and payouts and pre-flop strategies for your opponents, and then it'll tell you for which hands the EV of going all in is better than the EV of folding. The fifth module is the strats module, or pre-flop strategy editor. You have in position, out of position strategies, hand matrix up here, strategic options down here, and what you do is you pick one strategic option for each starting hand, and then it'll show you the frequencies implied by that strategy: VP, IP, PFR, various 3-bet stats, and so on. It will also extract all the individual ranges from the strategy. So it'll extract a limping range, a min-raising range, etc. And you can then save these ranges to My Lab and use them with the other modules. Charts lets you navigate hand charts quickly during play. There are hotkeys for switching between charts and hotkeys for hiding cells. We've provided some basic Nest charts here, but the idea is really that you make your own charts, either by uploading CSV files or using the My Lab chart editor. Next we have a replayer. It's just like Boom Replayer or the replayer that comes with Poker Tracker. You upload a hand history, and then we draw a table and you can step through your hand. We also show quite a few advanced stats while you go through the hand. For example, we show you the GGOP sizing whenever a player bets and things like that. Finally, we have our tendencies module. What happens here is that first you upload some hand histories, which you get either from your poker client or, for example, from a Poker Tracker export. The more you upload, the better. And then we parse them and we will automatically classify them by format. So, for example, heads up hyper turbos, hero in the big blind, micro stakes, poker stars. And from this collection of hand histories that you uploaded, we will extract for each villain that occurs their strategies, and also for the entire population of villains. And you can browse these strategies in a game tree format down here. So for example, let's look at starting stack play, and here you see all the different actions that villain has been observed taking along with the frequencies. So let's say villain min raises, hero calls, hero checks on the flop, villain c-bets, 50% pot, and so on. And at each stage, you see all the different strategic choices that have been made, and you can also click on each node to get more detailed information. So here you have the observed hands and the hand strength histogram. And you can follow each branch until you reach a leaf node, where a hero either wins or loses, so you can also see which lines are profitable or unprofitable for you. We think this is a great way to review and analyze both your own play and also find bet sizing tells, exploitable frequencies, and other leaks in your opponent's play. Now let's have one last look at My Lab. As I said before, MyLab is where you work with your stored data. First, you have ranges. Ranges are maybe the most common thing to store in MyLab. You can look at them here, edit them, make copies, update existing. You can also filter by tag, for example. And you can load these into the equity and post-fold modules. Then you have push-fold ranges. You can load these into the push-fold module. Strategies for the strats module. Charts for the charts module. To create a new chart, you click new here, and then you can either edit each cell or you can load a file from your computer. And the file format is described down here. Next we have hand rankings. So hand rankings are a little bit special in that in settings you select your favorite hand ranking, and then that determines how the percentage slider works in the range selection dialog. And finally we have notes. You can take notes in any module and they show up here. So let's go to a module. So you can click on this button and then you write a note and you click save. And there it is. So notes are basically a quick way to write down any thoughts you have while using a module. Alright, that's it for the overview. I hope I gave you a good idea of what it is that you get when you buy a subscription. And of course, we're constantly working on this side, both improving existing modules and adding new modules to really give you all the tools that you need to work on your poker game. So have a great day, best of luck at the tables, cheers and goodbye.